Before we get into my thoughts and opinions of the newest season of Weak Hero, I would like to say something to all of the spoiler robots out there. If you spoiled anybody, that will come back to get you, okay, in life. I thought, you know, I'm not gonna be on here. I'm not gonna say like, oh, yeah, I forgive you guys, because I don't, by the way. Um, the craziest thing was that I was spoiled on Instagram, and I was so stunned because whenever I watch a show, I'm always ducking like spoilers. Or I guess actually, it's a common thing in actually like K dramas and mainly anime. Like those two in general are very very high. Tell a lie. I feel like actually with everything, you're prone to run into spoilers all the time. Like whether it be shows, yeah, like even the title of the podcast were like, yeah, like even in being in thinking about shows and movies, like you run into spoilers with those as well. um but honestly, I know that from the past when I've been watching K-dramas that yes, usually my thing is I always like dodge Twitter or either TikTok, but then to know that I thought, oh, that I had to dodge Instagram, my mouth was open ajar for a long time. I said that is so crazy. And if I had known, oh yeah, I wouldn't have been on there. But the thing was that what my biggest gripe was that the person obviously yeah, showed the ending. And I was like, that's so unfair for like literally anybody. And I guess when it's like the first day the show comes out, you're like, then you're gonna post the ending. Like, can't you post the ending a few days until like give people a chance? Like, obviously it's taken me then because I guess I'm probably about to finish it today, which is Sunday the 27th. I'm probably gonna finish it today. But it's still like that's what I mean. Give people a break. Give them a minute. Like obviously we'll get there and we'll be finished, and then like you can roll out the spoilers. But then I feel like even when I was thinking about the fact that I knew I was gonna do an episode of this, I was like, I'm still not gonna talk about like stuff that took place in the show because it's still not fair for anybody who like might be listening who'll be like, oh, I want to watch the show. Do you get it? It might be a thing where it's like, yeah, they want to, but then they're not going to watch it if I spoil the entire thing, and then it's like then they can't watch it because there's no point because they already know everything. Do you get it? Or they know the things that have actually took place. And it's just like, yeah, like for me, my goal, like really in doing this episode is literally just talking about the thing that I enjoyed, but not anything crazy. I kind of want to talk about like different headings, different subjects to focus on, like, all the different kind of the other layers when obviously when you're doing a review of something and it's like you're not exactly going to say the in-betweens, but you're going to talk about the other stuff like the acting, the cinematography, anything else. Do you know what I mean? You're going to talk about all those other like stuff, but you're not going to talk about like the main thing. Do you know what I mean? You're going to talk about the main subjects. And I just think to myself, like, even like, this is me wholly ranting. Like, I'm going to be ranting for the first few minutes of this. Obviously, I will tell you a timestamp if you would like to skip it. But like, when I get there. But this is my rant right now, yeah. This is me just saying that, like, I just don't think that's, yeah, like, I don't get what people get out of sweating in the first place. Like, I don't know what the joy is. Do you know what I mean? There is no joy in it. Like, there's actually no joy in it. The last time, like, this is the thing. I thought to myself, I don't want to say that because I was like, oh, I'm acting a bit like a hypocrite because I've spoiled people in the past, but not deliberately though. Do you know what I mean? I've never spoiled people deliberately. I think like spoiling people with like generally intent and purpose is crazy. Like doing it on the basis of, yes, I would like to go out and spoil a bunch of like 1,000 people. Or like, you know, when you see like the likes on a TikTok and it's like, I don't know, 100K or something. So I'm like, you wanted to view that many. You wanted that many people to view your edit and to be spoiled, and that was your goal. Like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like most people who steal things, and then it's like they steal it, you know, just on the basis of making that person unhappy. like just on the basis of ruining that person's day. That's all they wanted to do, and that's all that they were set to do. They didn't want to do anything else. They didn't want to do anything else. They had nothing else better to do. They just wanted to cause chaos. And that's what I think is the goal of spoilers. If you disagree with me, you can say, but I would be stunned if you are, because I don't really get it. Like, I don't get how anybody could go about like wanting to spoil in a good way. Like, I don't get it. If anyone could ever turn to me and say, "Oh, I spoiled to help people," and we're like, "No, how did you do that?" like how did you do that? And who did you help? And if you did help someone, bring them to the front so that we know that they feel like they've been helped so greatly. And the thing is, like, you know, for me, the only time, it's like, I'm not crazy about spoilers. Like, I never have been. But the only time I'd ever ask anyone for a spoiler, actually, is if I have impatience, right? This is my thing. Like, I'm an impatient person. I've always been this way. That's the only time I'll ever do that. Like, literally, if I'm impatient, and then it's the type of thing where you'll see a kind of scene where it's like something bad's happened, and then you're like, oh, I need to know this person's okay before I, you know, go to sleep or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So that's the only time I'll ever do it, or I'll ever come looking for a spoiler, because I don't like impatience. I don't like being left on a cliffhanger. I think it's really rude. But so it's like, I don't like any of that stuff. I hate when, I know that's what, like, people who make shows and stuff and movies, that's what they're supposed to do. We're supposed to market, but that's the only time. And I think what I just said is a lot of things for everyone, because it's the same subject of when people watch animes, and then because the anime is not on, the person goes seeking out for the rest of the story, and so in doing so, you, like, I don't know, you spoiled yourself, but not really. I mean, it will be animated anyway, but it's like you went looking because you couldn't resist, right? But I think with Weak Hero, I did not go looking for these swallows, and I did not want them. I would have been happy without them. And to think that it was 3 in a row, I was like, wow. I was like, and the thing is, it was like, I think I did a post on my Instagram and I said, oh, it made me reminisce on what it used to be like when Attack on Titan was on. And it was like, when Attack on Titan was on, you could not dodge the spoilers. There was no way. Like, they were there and they were everywhere. And it was like, usually, like, it was manga panels and they were just there. It gave me war flashbacks. Like, I was like, those were dark days. Like, and I was like, this is just gonna keep getting worse. It's like, yeah, it's like when a main protagonist just accepts defeat. I was like, yeah, this is gonna keep happening. I'm just gonna have to get used to it. But it's like, people were like, because obviously I feel like spoilers were affecting people so much, they were like, oh, I don't want to watch the show anymore. And I'm like, no, like, that's not fair. And that's what I'm trying to even spread awareness on right now. Like, even though I know that it's like, saying it means nothing. Like, you know, when you want to spread PSAs and awareness on stuff, it's like, I'm saying it. But like, if someone who's probably has spoiled people in the past and does it like for a living, you'll be listening like, oh, I don't care, I'm gonna continue spoiling. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Somebody listening now are gonna be like, yeah, I don't care what she's saying, I'm gonna do it anyway. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those. I just thought that I would say it nonetheless, because it's been a crazy time. And I don't even know. I think to myself, oh, is there a way that I could have done this better? Like, next time. But then let's not hope there's a next time. I'm like putting that out there. I'm putting that in the atmosphere. I said, let's not hope for a next time. But I think the best thing for me going forwards is probably like, yeah, when a show like this comes out again, and because it's got so many viewers, the best way is to just uninstall all your social media apps and come back after like a few days or a week or so. Yeah, you can just come back on the time that it takes you to finish. And I feel like obviously an 8-episode show doesn't take anyone very long to finish anyways. Like some people, obviously people who would have spoiled the ending, they would have binge watched it like in a few hours. But then, if you're like me, who's like, okay, you're binge watching, but you're not really like doing it in one sitting. You're doing it one day after. Like, obviously, like I said, it's taken me 3 days. That's not anything bad. So I guess that's what I mean. I think for next time, it's the type of thing where you just detach yourself from those apps for those 3 days, and then you come back, and then you can go and do the greatest thing of all, which is you finish a show, and then you run to the edits, and you run to YouTube, and here you are. Do you know what I mean? You run there, and then you're like, wow, this is great. And now I get to really see the edits of a show I just finished watching. But yeah. But I mean, that won't be happening here, of course. I guess not like, oh, that won't be happening here. Of course I'll be talking about the show and like the greatness of the show, but I'm giving you a slice. I'm giving you like a cherry on top of your cheesecake or something. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not, my goal is not to spoil the entire show. And I guess, it's like, if you do want that, there are other people who can talk you through the show if you would like. Because that's great too. I think when you're able to have a conversation with people, about a show, and it's people who have actually seen it, then that's perfect. That's great. I would love that. Like, I feel like I could do that. But for now, like just think about it. For now, I am going like to talk about the show, but like no spoilers advised. Do you know what I mean? So, but it would be interesting, I guess, to do an episode where it is where it is spoilers advised, and it would have to be in big bright letters. Like, it would have to be in bold. It would have to be in bright. And I would make it crystal clear, because it's not me. Like, it's not me. It's not in my bones. It's not in my blood. Like, it's not in my bones, not in my blood. I don't do it. I want everyone to have a fair chance. Like, and I want people to enjoy things the way they want them to be enjoyed. So I'm going to share my thoughts once I've finished. So it's Monday the 28th. So I finished yesterday, like I said. Obviously I'm going to start like touching on different places. As I said, this is a spoiler. This is no spoilers. Yeah, this is a no spoilers review. just make that clear again. Obviously I'm going to start off saying that the main pull, I feel like, for Weak Hero is the fact that Seong is known to be an underdog, and everyone loves an underdog. Everyone loves a rebel, Harry, but generally, I'm serious. Everyone loves somebody who you don't think has it, or like, yeah, there's so many different things about them and different layers about them, and you're like, oh, yeah, you didn't really think that they would be able to to make a difference, or to even like, I don't know, or to obviously Seong didn't want friends at first from the very beginning. So in what we covered in the first episode, he didn't want friends, and then he ends up with the friends around him, and it's him coming out of his shell. It's him being like, oh, maybe I do actually, like, maybe I do want friends, and I do want to be around people, and I do want to laugh, and I do want to have fun, like, you know what I mean? I do want to be happy. I do want to get on with people, and you know what I mean? And I love that, because it's just showcases, yeah, no one can be alone, right? No one can be alone. Like, I meant as in, it's not like a thing where people can be alone by themselves. Like, I feel like everyone needs everyone, and people will say that they don't, but you do. Like, I think, because obviously Seong was that type. Like, he was like, oh no, I don't want friends. Like, oh, like, if you're my friend, blah 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 blah. Like, do you know what I mean? He's doing all of that. Like, I guess he just saw it as like, he feels like if he's friends with people, like, he'll be a magnet. Like, as in, maybe because of course I mentioned about him being an underdog. It's like he worries that like, people will not want to be friends with him, and that, like, being friends with him will cause them danger. But I think to myself, you're better, like, this is the thing, like, you're better off like, with people than you are alone. And strength in numbers, right? Strength in numbers. Yeah. And still going back to the underdog thing, actually, it's like, that makes you root for the protagonist. Like, everyone loves somebody who is low on the ladder. And obviously I already mentioned Harry Potter, right? I already did what Harry Potter reference, but it's true though. Like, you guys were like, oh my god, Harry Potter, boo. Like, but boo J.K. Rowling, less so boo Harry Potter. Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, I hate that whole, oh, separate art from the artist. I hate that whole concept. But then I'm also just like, Harry Potter is fictional. Like, he's not real. That's why I'm at myself, there's no harm in, like, and I think it's different. Like, I think it's so different. Like, you know, when people say separate art from the artist, I'm like, yes, you can. And I'm like, it's important to, like, I mean, no, you shouldn't do it. But I'm saying you can only do it on, like, some different bases, like, on some different ways. And I know that, like, I don't know, when you watch Harry Potter, it's obviously paying her and it's helping her. But it's just like, obviously what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, this is Harry Potter, the franchise is what I'm saying. But anyways, I was going back to how Harry Potter and, like, Seong together, right? I'm saying that, like, what's it called? That, like, even Harry, like, he was, what was he, like, what do you call him? He was an orphan, and he didn't have anybody. His parents were killed by Voldemort. He was all alone in the world. Like, the guy had nobody, right? But then he was also notorious because he survived. And then, yeah, he was notorious for surviving. And then he found Ron and Hermione, and they were also underdogs as well. So it's like, it was a group of underdogs. Do you know what I mean? And that is also similar to Seong, because he meets people who are underdogs, and I feel like, yeah, and even both series but no, in both seasons, I would say, yeah, it's him finding underdogs again and, like, going up the ladder in a way, like, obviously making his way, and not like, what's it called, and not letting the bullies win, which we love. On the subject of Harry Potter, because obviously I was like to myself, obviously I'm going through my head, and I was like, while we're on the subject of Harry Potter, let me not move on already. But I wanted to say that episode 8 was very much Harry Potter and Voldemort coded, two enemies at each other's throats, and it was like, yeah, like, because it was like how Voldemort was like, obviously, like, Harry's mine, don't touch him. He said, I must kill him. When the time, what is it? What's the line? What's the line? He will come to me. Like, it's very, Baek-Jin and Baku coded. Like, they came, and it was like, they came through a crowd of people, and they said that he's mine. Don't touch him. I'm about to mash him up. Like, and like, don't do anything. Like, don't do anything. I would say that, like, on the topic of episode 8, like, episode 8 was my favorite episode. And yeah, like, it was my favorite episode so by far. Like, I feel like the whole season was great, but episode 8 was great. But then I feel like, I do think, yeah, the last episode of a show, like, always needs to be, it needs to be the thing that takes the cake. Like, generally, I do think that's pretty accurate. I know that, like, of course, episode 1 has to be good too, because this is the thing. I was talking about this, or I think I was, it's an article I was writing where I was rating pilot episodes. It's not out, by the way. You guys always, like, I always say this to you guys when I'm doing episodes. I'm like, yeah, it's not out. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's not. But then I'm saying, like, pilot episodes have to be good, and so the finales. Like, do you know what I mean? The pilot is the thing that makes you stay, and then the last episode is the one that like, makes you want more. Like, do you know what I mean? It's very, when I just said that, I was like, that's very interesting. I was like, these people they're manipulators. But no, I'm joking. they're like, yes, we're getting you into view episode 1 and episode 8. We're about to make this stay on your mind for the foreseeable future. Do you know what I mean? You're going to be thinking about it when you wake up, when you brush your teeth, when you go to bed. Like, so they know what they're doing. And they're correct. I think on the subject of that, I'm going to talk about the fighting. I don't know. I was going to say, was the fighting better than season's 1's fighting scenes? Crickets. Yes, but then also no, because actually, you know, when you think about seasons and you think about how the first season is always better, and you know, okay, another thing, it's like, I'm doing lots of references already, but like, it's making me think of Twilight, right? Twilight, yeah, the first Twilight is the best Twilight, right? But then you also have Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, and Breaking Dawn Part 2 is great. You know, it does that whole plot twist thing. You know, we're all like, oh, do you know what I mean? It does that. And it's like, but then I also think to myself, yeah, the prequel is the thing. And I mean, the beginner is always the thing that, like, yeah. But I don't know, because I just do feel like season 2 one, like, I mean, season 2, I feel like also maybe season 2 also had more, it also had more fighting scenes. It also had more, like, what's the thing? It also had more sadness as well. Like, a lot of melancholy, like, do you know what I mean? And I think what it is, the theme that they're trying to push forward is, like, abuse. And I think I was talking about this to somebody, but the fact that, like, they always want to portray that in these dramas sometimes, because they talk about the fact that bullying in Korea is, like, really bad. Like, I think I mentioned, maybe I didn't, but in the previous episode, I think I might have mentioned the glory, right? But what's it called? Like, they obviously want to push forward that. Oh no, I definitely did. That the bullying in it is very, very bad. And then I think what happened was, I even think with the Glory, I think when Glory came out, the people were obviously saying that like there was a thing, I thought people were coming out with stories where they were saying that, yeah, like this was true, and they were saying, oh yeah, this has happened to me, blah 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 blah, like all of that, they were doing that. So I feel like it's the same thing, and they just show what it's like to be bullied, and just the stress, and like just, yeah, the turmoil, the stress, all of that. But generally, like, I think that, like, what's it called, the fighting was just so good. Like, I think to myself, like, the fighting is what you want. And I think, oh, okay, back on the topic of episode 8. Episode 8 made me think about animes, made me think about, like, Tokyo Revengers, even Windbreaker. Sorry. You know, I have to always throw references into things. Maybe I should, if I can, I'll write a references, list, because obviously, I'm gonna need to do that. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna need to write a references list. But yeah, like, obviously I thought about those two in particular, like Tokyo Revengers and Windbreaker, because obviously Tokyo Revengers, obviously, like, yeah, that's school gangs again, pretty much, basically. Yeah, that's school gangs. I think Windbreaker's also school gangs. I would say that, like, I want to say, like, does Windbreaker feels better than Tokyo Revengers anyways, like, versus the two of them, because I sometimes feel like, yeah, the fighting scenes are better in Windbreaker than they are in Tokyo Revengers. And then also, like, Windbreaker just came out, or, like, not too long ago. I mean, like, let me fact check it. But it came out in 20, yeah, see, it came out in 2024, it came out just last year. So, yeah, and it's very good. Even though with Windbreaker, I feel like with Windbreaker, we can't really rope Windbreaker in, like, to, like, the kind of, I don't know, underdog, sub-hero genre kind of thing. You can't really rope him into that, because Sakura's not even, like, yeah, he's not a, I don't know. What was I gonna say? He's not like a newbie. He's not, well, he's a newbie, actually. Sorry, scratch that. He's a newbie. He's just not a nerd. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to say. He's not really in that pile or that category. I would say that, like, Takemichi and, like, Sion, they're probably more so, like, to be in that line together. Yeah, to be in that line together, because I would say Takemichi and both Sion, they both really had to get stronger. Like, it's not even the thing where, like, because Sakura is already strong, like, yeah, he's already strong. So it's like Seong and, like, Takemichi, they really had to, like, they were actually weak people. And remember, like, Takemichi's song is what's it? Crybaby Hero. Or do they call him that? Yeah, they call him that, Crybaby Hero, but I think the intro is called Crybaby too. No, yeah, the intro is probably Crybaby as well. But I'm saying, like, that's the thing. They're both two people who you just think, like, even with Park Ji-hoon's eyes, like, full of woe, full of sadness. Like, you're just like, any moment now, they'll probably cry. Like, do you know what I mean? And you're like, they're not people that you would think and be like, oh yeah, they're strong. But they are, because they've obviously, like, they've trained, and, like, they've also, like, fought to be where they are. And then the thing is that, and I guess that's something I mentioned in the last one, is that, like, Seong's always using, like, different tactics, and it's nice to see also, I guess, in this season, that his fighting tactic hasn't really changed. I do feel like, obviously, he got what was it, he was a bit rusty, but then I think that was to be expected, after not fighting for a while, like not fighting for a bit. And I think he didn't want to fight anymore, or he promised not to. So I feel like it was a thing where, yeah, he was a bit rusty, but then it was a thing where we realized his fighting style has not changed at all. He still wants to walk around with a pen and use objects that are around him. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that's fine. Like, I said in the last one, I'm sure, that I like Sion's way of fighting. Like, I feel like it's original. I don't think anyone really fights like him. A lot of them who, like, when you see in the series, like, a lot of them probably fight they fight textbook. It's more like they fight, or they've been trained by somebody, like, I guess Baku and Baek-Jin's relationship. They've been trained by somebody, but I'm saying, like, Seong's one is more like he's been trained, but he's also made his fighting style his own. Like, it's a thing where, like, yeah, he's strong because it's his. And it's like, it's not really about like, I guess the most traditional way I meant of like boxing or any of those things. He's using plant pots and stuff. Yeah, he's using plant pots, and he's doing all of that stuff. Yeah, and I think back to what I was saying about seeing not having any friends and then having friends. And I guess, I don't know, in season 2, it's like he acts the same way. Like, I don't know, hot and cold. And he did that. Of course, he did that in the first one. But he realizes, like, yeah, he can't live his life like that. And then it's like, when people are showing you kindness, you know what I mean? Why reject that kindness? Open, like, let it open, like, be open, and open it with open arms. Don't reject it, embrace it. Like, we said, don't reject it, embrace it, love it. We said thank you. And I guess, and also I feel like in this season, I guess he needed friends more than ever. Like, he was going through a tough time, so he needed people around him. There was not going to be a way that he could have, obviously, like, literally, he couldn't have got through this season, I mean, without his newfound friends. Like, generally speaking, he couldn't have done it. There's no way. There's actually no way. Of course, I finished with my I finished with my rant, but I guess yesterday when I finished the season, I was super bummed because, like, I don't know. I think for me, it was like, yeah, when you're spoiled the ending of something, I was just like, no. And I think when I saw the scene that I got spoiled for, I didn't feel anything. And I hate that. Like, I wanted to feel something, but I didn't feel anything. There was just numbness. Of course, I was like, oh my God. But then I was like, no, because I got spoiled. And I was like, nah. I just think, like, and I don't understand that. Like, I don't get it. I don't, like I think I said in the beginning, I just don't think it's good to, like, ruin experiences for people. Like, yeah. And I think I saw something today, even. What was it? Somebody said, there was an edit, I think, and I saw in the comment section, someone was saying, oh, like, oh, thanks, like, I just got spoiled. And then the person was said back to them, like, was like, oh, you shouldn't have been online or whatever, like, something like that. You know, one of those throwaway comments. I'm just like to myself, okay, you know, like, it's one of those throwaway comments. It's like one of those weird comments where it's like, oh, like, I'm not racist, I have black friends. Yes, it's really weird. It's one of those, like, oh, the only way for you to not see spoilers is don't go on social media. He said, oh my God, this guy's a genius. Do you know what I mean? You're so smart, Einstein. I should have thought of that myself. But no, and I was saying it, I think, to probably, oh, I sent it to my mom. I think, like, yes, the next time, if there is a potential of Week Hero class 3, it would just, I will not be on there. I will not be on there. And I think it's a good reminder. Like, this is the thing. And like, the podcast episode now is actually even giving me a reminder again. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, next time, yeah, I'm not gonna be on it at all. Like, it's not gonna happen. But you know, I think that's so difficult, and that's why I'm saying to you, like, it's easier said than done. Like, to say to somebody, oh yeah, don't go on social media until you finish. I just don't. I mean, I've done social media bans before, but it's just like sometimes it's just not easy to do. Like, you either have to pre-plan your social media ban, which I've literally, I'm saying, which I've done before, or like, yeah, I think asking someone to do it, like, just preemptive, like, you know what I mean, like, the season comes out and you're just like, oh, come off social media. It's like, no, we can't do it that way. But if you're saying to yourself, oh, I know when the season's coming out, then I'm gonna uninstall all my apps, in what's it called, in what was it, yeah, just beforehand. But I don't know. I'm just trying to say, like, I don't think it's fair. And I don't think it's the best way to I don't think it's the best way to achieve it, like, or to um fix it, or like the solution. I don't think it's the solution. Like, the solution really, obviously, is to give people more time, right? Yeah, like, to just give people more time, and to just yeah, it's to give people be kind, and yeah, you know what I mean. It's like I'm talking about spoilers again. Do you know what I mean? I feel like this is what I spoke about in this, mainly in this episode, a lot. But the only reason why is because I got spoiled 3 times. There was also another spoiler I actually saw the other day. While we're on the subject, I think I saw what was it? I saw the new season of You. I saw a spoiler for You, like the final season, and the thing is, I'm like myself, do I remember it that well? Like, the scene I saw, but I think I do. Of course, it's like, I guess when you see a spoiler, like, there's no context to it. You don't really know what's happening, but like, you see the screen cap, and then it stays in your head, like, it's ingrained there. It's just, if I was to explain to you guys what the spoiler is, yeah, it wouldn't be coherent, like, it wouldn't make sense. So, but it's annoying that obviously it's like, I know that I've seen it, and I have to live with that. Like, I have to live with the fact that I saw that spoiler, and yeah. So, and it's like, every time a spoiler comes out, it's like, oh yeah, I saw that. And then you're like, oh yeah, I saw that. Like, you're like, yeah, I saw that. But I wish I hadn't. Like, you know what I mean? They should get something where it's like, they should make make a machine where, like, it's funny, I was like, yeah, make a machine where you can forget things that you want to forget. Which would be so many things for, like, a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? That would be a great machine, but I'm just saying, I know that it would be a lot of people would want to get rid of loads and loads of stuff. Like, it would be very, very expensive. But yeah, like, the spoiler thing was crazy. And of course, that's why I said, of course, I would talk about it so many times, because I'm super, super bitter. Like, I am. Because I think we all deserve the right to be enjoyed about something. And, like, I don't know. And I guess, yeah, grand reveals are huge. They are huge, right? And they're a huge deal. So it's like, yes, everyone deserves the right to be excited. Like, if I had to compare it to something, it would be like, excuse me, a surprise party. Yeah. I know, like, I feel like us as people, I mean, sometimes in society, we all don't generally like surprises. But I'm saying if I had to compare it to something like that, it would be a surprise party. Like, when people have come together to do something for you, and then you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know about this. And it's like that. I guess the way that I'm wording this is like, it's only if you really like surprises, but if you don't, then obviously you're not going to be happy. But like, I think actually that other side of not being happy when a surprise happens is, I think that's what happened. That's the version of when you get spoiled, for sure. Like, that's how, well, a person who doesn't like surprises, that's how it feels to get spoiled. Or it's like when you see those TikToks where like they're doing a happy birthday and then their sibling blows out their cake and we're like, that wasn't for you. Like, we're like, what? That was not for you. Like, but anyways, let's move on. It's because I know that if I continue talking about spoilers, it's going to take up this whole entire thing, and I'm just like, no. It's not fair on you. It's not fair on me. Let's just drop it. Like, and I think I already said in the beginning, talking about spoilers, there's just no fun in it. Like, there's no fun in it because there's nothing you can do unless what I said, which is coming off and coming back after your finish, which is like, it's crazy. I might myself, oh yeah, I wish I'd thought of that, but then I also don't, because do you mean I can't use my phone? Like, you know what I mean? I can't be on here because of people like that. Like, it's like, yeah, it's like, don't encourage terrorism. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. So I'm like, we shouldn't fuel it. If anything, we should be talking about how to stop it. But anyways, next topic, next heading was going to be about how, but actually, yeah, I feel like, because no, this one's a bit like, that was a bit more of a, this was a little bit of a, spoiler, but also not too much, but I want to say like Baku created a monster. So I don't feel like I don't feel like it's a spoiler actually, because you guys would just there's some people who wouldn't even know who I'm talking about. So yeah, but that he created a monster, and then it was like student became the master, and then, you know, all that stuff unfolded, and like, oh, it's not to say like, I mean, he felt like it was his fault, but I guess it's just one of those things that you can't necessarily control. The other thing was also, which was very interesting about this season, was just the terms of like hierarchy and people in power, and how like, even if you think you're in charge, you're generally not. Like, it's crazy. And I've always thought about hierarchy in a very interesting way, because somebody will say, yes, I'm in charge, but then they also have somebody to answer to, and then the other person also has someone to answer to, and then yeah, it just continues. Like, I was just like to myself, it's a continuum, and it was very interesting. Yeah, I think that I was just thinking about also in doing this, I was like, do I feel like I want to like research afterwards, but probably not now, but I want to check afterwards, like, are they really following the story of the comic, or is it a thing where it's like they want to do, yeah, like, where it's like they're just not rewriting the story, because obviously it's the same, the plot is the same, but I just mean they're adding their own things into it, because it's like, we obviously know that when things get adapted, sometimes they're not always like by the bar, like I meant, they're not always word for word, like they're not always the entire thing, because I think this was even, someone said to me about Invincible, and how like, and how I think the next season that they're doing of Invincible is supposed to like, it's not, I don't think it's not supposed to be like by the comic. I think it's the thing where the next season of Invincible is gonna be what do they say, like is it peak or something? Or I forget what the term is. Yeah, I forget what the term is. Wait. Just saw it says it on here on Reddit that Invincible season 4 premieres in 2026 and voice acting is already complete, and that there may be a new storyline not in the comic. So obviously that's what I'm trying to say about Weak Hero. I was wondering if it will be a thing where there'll be, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to check that out. If you do know, no, actually, if you do know, don't say anything. Actually, I'm like myself. Why am I? I don't want to encourage. But actually, I shouldn't check either. This is the thing. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. I was talking about the impatience factor. This is exactly what I was saying. And like this is generally just what happens. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's what people do. Like, and that's what I said about anime. People do it all the time. Like, and then I guess the temptation just gets to you, and so you go out and you read the manga, and then it's just like, yeah, you'll see it animated, but it will be a thing where you have spoiled yourself. You're just better off. I don't know. You're better off not knowing. Dear me. So I guess that's even what I was about to do, but I'm not gonna do it. I was just also wondering. I want to know like how much more they have left of the story, because that would obviously tell us if they're going to do it anyways. Because if they don't have any, if there's not anything for them to what's it called, to film, then obviously, yeah, would they? That's what I mean. Would they do it? That's just the question. We don't know. And this is a question for the people who did watch season 2, is who do you believe resembles Suho the most? Um, I, it's funny. I generally thought that it was Baku, but then there's this whole discussion where people are saying that it's actually Gotak. But yeah, I don't know. I think they did a lot of stuff in this season that felt like parallels to him. And I'm sure they did that on purpose. But there was just like loads of different like hints, and it was like, yeah, they were mirroring him. And I think maybe they just did that because obviously, yeah, he's Seung's close friend. So I think they just did it in a way that, like, of course, Seung like needs people like that around him, like people who are outgoing and like, I don't know, yeah, people who are outgoing and like extrovert probably would be the term, but this is what I mean. People sometimes, we don't like sometimes talking about introvertedness and extrovertedness. I mean, I have before, but it's a whole subject, you know what I mean? And we know that Seong is very introverted, which is obviously, like I said, he needs extroverted people to bring his extrovertedness out. So that's what I'm saying. I think to myself, like, it was probably obvious that maybe those two in particular were going to mirror him. But yes, it would be interesting to know what you thought. Yeah, mine was obviously Baku, and I thought that it was Baku the most. Just in terms of just like, I don't know, like charisma, and in terms of just how loud Baku was as well. Like, I was like how loud he was, but no, like, yeah, generally all of that. And then maybe because, like, I don't know, Baku was also into basketball, or well, they both are, Baku and Gotak. So it was like, yeah. So I kind of thought that, yeah, they just both mirrored in terms of like Suo also being some kind of athlete, so to speak. But yeah, tell me your thought. Obviously, one more thing, which I don't think anybody would forget to do, but watch the post-credit scene. Like, I don't think anyone would forget to, but I feel like I'm known for this too. Like, you know when you're in the cinema and it's like the film finishes and then you're like, oh, like I'm gonna leave now. I generally, funny thing, I actually don't do that anymore. It's like I don't do it for like a lot of films. Like obviously we know that it's mainly Marvel. Is it? Yeah, it's mainly Marvel. Anyways, I meant that are the ones that always have post credit scenes. In terms of just overall. Like they always have post credit scenes. But in general I feel like even with other films that I've seen in the cinema, I don't leave anymore. I think for me, I don't leave because I'm probably also writing my letterbox review, so yeah, don't shoot me. I'm writing my letterbox review and then I'm also I'm enjoying the credits. Like first of all, I'm enjoying credits. Can we not do that? But yeah, like I really loved, I think, what was it, when I saw Bridget Jones, I really enjoyed that credits. They were really good because it was like it was making you reminisce on the old films, and that was really nice. But obviously I meant with Weak Hero, the post credit scene's very fundamental, and it obviously hints at the next, like it hints at the potential of the next season. Obviously I did check earlier today. Yeah, I checked earlier today to see if there's any news, but there is not any news as of yet. Not to say that there won't be, but obviously because the thing that I read said that because of its popularity, there most likely could be a new season on the horizon. And then of course, when you have a post-credit scene, right? Post-credit scenes just what's it called? They simplify, or they just make us believe that there's going to be another one. If there's not, I don't really think that they would add the post credits. If not, do you know what I mean? It's like that's what I mean. It makes what I just said makes it sound like a promise to you guys, but I'm just like they wouldn't have set it up like that. And then also K dramas, like in general, as somebody who is an avid viewer of them, they don't really do post credit scenes at all. Like, and unless they're doing an epilogue, unless they're doing an epilogue or something, they don't ever really do post credit scenes like that. That they don't really do it. And a lot of K dramas never really get more than either 2 seasons at most. Sometimes they do. Like Doctor Romantic has like 3 or more, and then also Hospital Playlist has like 2. And so this is what I'm saying, they don't really like go that far out of season. So it's like you think to yourself that because it's a K drama, like the subject, the genre, it makes you believe that there wouldn't necessarily be another one. But the post credits is a big, like it's a big indicator. So do you know what I mean? That's what I meant. Except I don't want you guys to like shoot me if that doesn't happen. Like, okay, like don't hold me to it. But I'm just saying, it obviously could be a very big guess. Now, this is my final thoughts. Yeah, my final thoughts are that watch Weak Hero. Duh. Um, like I was like myself, I wouldn't have spent 53 minutes talking about it if it wasn't great. Like yeah, I feel like I covered actually most of the themes, but yeah. So fighting, friendship, I feel like friendship, and I was going to say teamwork, but then that also coincides with friendship. Like, of course, if you're friends, you're somewhat of a team. That's pretty obvious. But like, yes, all of that. Also, okay, of course, I meant for people who haven't seen Weak Hero, but then I was like, okay, maybe you have. But then if you haven't, then watch Weak Hero 1 and 2. Um, Even though, you know what I will say, like I'm thinking to myself, like, do I feel like maybe Weak Hero Class 1 had a more complex storyline than this one? I feel like obviously this one was just mainly like it focused a lot on like it zoomed in a lot, sorry, on like the bullies. Um so, I mean, I want to say did it focus on them last season too, but I'm saying I feel like it focused on them way, way more. And then obviously, well, last season obviously focused also on Beyonce as well. So there was also that. It was like that one was more like, I don't know. I would say like no. I guess on the subject of plot twist, I would say fine. It had that in both actually. No, it did have that in both. I probably will do an episode where I am talking about what's it? I'm gonna do a spoilers advised episode because I kind of want to unpack everything. So yeah, so cool. If I do though, I'm gonna make sure I do a picture where it's like where it's got the spoilers or the what's it called? That warning sign. I'm gonna do that. and I'm gonna talk about everything. I don't know when that will be though, but I will do it sometime soon. I also have other ones to do. So I'll see you in the next one.